All right, welcome back. I want to use this video to kind of document where I'm at right now in my trading journey. I have my Trader View stats up, and on the month for April, I finished the month at the highest I've ever had by the month, ever. $1,359. Completely blew out any other month I've ever had in the past. My previous biggest month was in 2021. My biggest month was 337, and in 2022, my previous biggest month was 547. In April, I just blew it out of the water. And even the month of April, I made in the month of April the amount I made, almost the amount, short by like $80 or $100 by the amount of 2021. So in the whole year of 2021, I pretty much made that in the month of April that I just had. And that's all just thanks to being consistent and sizing up. And on this year, 2022, I'm already up way past what I made in 2021. And it just shows the progress that I've been making of just consistently sitting, never failing to consistently sit down in front of the computer and trade for a couple hours each day. And over time, just that consistent effort over a long period of time just yields results. It has no choice, but you have no choice but to get better if you just do something every day. Getting better is just a byproduct. And on the weekly, you can tell exactly when I started to size up. On this week here and this week here, I made over $500 the past 2 weeks. And that's really solid. Some of these days I've been making more trading than I've been making at my job. And that's really starting to make me think that I can quit my job soon. And I don't know how close that I am to that. I would love to quit my job. Right now, I'm actually about to go into work in about 15 minutes. I'm actually a waiter. I just wait at a steakhouse, pretty much just serving tables. It's a pretty more expensive restaurant, so I'm able to take home maybe about more like $1,000 a week to $1,000 to $1,500 a week. Right now, I'm nowhere near that, so I don't even want to think about quitting my job yet. But once trading, I can make more than I do at my job. It wouldn't make sense to keep working unless I'm not that consistent with making over what I make at my job. But for right now, I'm just going to stick to it and just keep doing what I'm doing. I sized up, and the results are right here. Literally, I've been making the best week ever. I've been making what I'd made in a month in a week, and been making what I make in a year in a month. And so much progress has just been made just this month. And just like how consistent I was, I'm not even sure how I've never had a red trade in a long time. I'm already on a 3-week green streak. With only one red day in April. That is truly remarkable. I don't know how I'm doing this, but I'm definitely getting the hang of it. My strategy is definitely working, and the market is favoring my strategy, and I'm definitely sizing up at the right time. At the start of May, I'm gonna bump it up again, maybe about another 20% or so of my share size. So instead of doing 75 share increments, I'm going to start doing 100 share increments. I think I'm ready for that. It might be a little rocky at first, but I think I will get used to it. And that's kind of what I've been doing to size up, is just by increasing the increments that I add by. So at first I started 10 share increments, then I jumped to 25 share increments, and 30 share increments, and 50 share increments, 75 share increments, and now I'm jumping to 100 for May, and we'll see how that works out. If the market slows down, I would consider sizing back down if the market is very slow for May. I know we're getting close to those summer months, so we'll see how that turns out. But overall, you can see here my volume increasing consistently every day. On average, my volume is increasing, my daily volume, my P&L, my average P&L is increasing, and my gross cumulative P&L is increasing at a similar rate. So everything is starting to come together, and it really makes me feel good about all of the work that I put in the past year, and that it's actually starting to bear some fruit. It's been such a long time where I would just show up to the market and I would struggle to make any sort of money, whether that be a couple dollars. I was just struggling just to make a couple dollars, and I would just be red and red and red and red, and where I'd make a little bit and I'll be on a good streak, and then I'll have one huge red day and I'll give it all back, and it was just so frustrating and stressful. I remember I would just beat myself up so hard too. It was just in the early days I would beat myself up so hard when I was trading and I wasn't making money. And I think the reason that really helped me start to grow was by actually letting go of the attachment and not beating myself up too much. Because I noticed when I was beating up myself too much, I was scared to put on risk because I was scared to face myself and face making a mistake and having to beat myself up again. And it would really, it would put me in a lull for a couple days or a whole day or a whole weekend, and I would just be in the dumps because I just was making losing trades or making so many mistakes. But when I really stopped beating myself up and I started to support myself and started to pat myself on the back for the good things that I did on that day, that really just supported me to take more risk and push it a little bit harder and push it a little bit harder and just keep repeating the things that I'm doing right, and also stop doing the things that I'm doing wrong. And then over time, it's just I just cut away so much of the fat of my trading strategy, where it's just I know what to do, I stick to it, and I know when to cut it, and I know that I cannot break my rules of holding or hoping or getting into big without any quarter confirmation, just rules like that. I was able to really cut down the fat to a solid base strategy, and that's what has been keeping me consistent these past couple months. So it really came down to just being my biggest supporter and just stop beating myself up, and just kind of, I don't know, it was a lot of inner work. I did a lot of meditation. I sat alone in a room for many, many hours, just questioning why I want this, why is money so important, why am I so attached to this? So many deep questions to kind of figure out where I'm at and why I'm attached and what's holding me back from actually being successful in trading. And also that has been able to me to not be afraid of my emotions when losing money, because whenever I would lose money, just the emotions are so intense, and I was just so scared to feel them that I just took it out on the market, and it would just dig a bigger hole, and I would not learn from my lessons because I wasn't willing to sit and feel those emotions that come with losing money or making mistakes in the market or being too greedy. And that's one of the other things that that I was able to work through, and that also aided in the process of being more emotionally stable, emotionally centered when I'm trading. Because whenever I lose money, I'm able to notice these emotions that are popping up. I immediately feel them when I'm losing money, and I can just see it for what it is. I can just see it as just an emotional response, and nothing that is, has nothing to do with me, has nothing to do with my strategy. It's just the emotional response of me believing that I'm losing something in this moment, in which really it's just from something outside of me instead of a part of me. Don't mean to go too deep into this, but a lot of those deep inner, working through those deep inner attachments was able for me to become more emotionally stable and centered when I'm trading, and that also really helped me with being consistent and following my rules. Because most of the time we're breaking rules because we are emotional and we're not addressing those emotions when they're coming up. And you need to be so quick to bounce back, because sometimes you'll lose a trade and you trigger your emotions, and then that's it. You're done. You're like trading like an emotional, insane, idiotic person, and you have no idea what to do anymore. You're so blinded by your emotions that you can't think straight anymore, and you need to be able to bounce back so quick and kind of move on from it within like seconds to be able to start trading rationally again. And I've been able to do that the past couple of months, something that I've not been able to do before, which also really helped me. I would take a loss, and a lot of the times I would come back from a big loss and be green on the day because I was able to push past and accept those emotions of a losing trade. I'm accepting the risk instead of fighting and not believing, and instead of fighting the reality that I lost money. That's another thing, is just being able to accept the risk. A lot of people put on trades without accepting the risk, and then when they lose, it triggers their emotions. But back to my monthly recap. I'm gonna go through my two biggest trades and my worst trade real quick, and then I'll wrap it up. I'm gonna have to get going soon. So we'll go through my biggest gain, which was $108 on VIVK, 836. This is pre-market. Wow. Usually I don't have my biggest trades pre-market, so I'm very surprised. So this was about only a couple days ago. So VIVK, traded here at 836. Oh, this was this trade. So it popped up on news, and it rejected this high initially, but it reclaimed the VWAP, and the volume was coming in higher than the previous green candle. So there's new buyers on this, and it dipped back down below and retested this previous breakout level at 430, and I just took my starter position, and then it gapped up to 440 immediately, and then I just started adding into this breakout level, and then it jumped up all the way here. I took some off, and then I added back for the break of 5 because it gapped up to 5. It was just so quick. It was in an instant. And once it broke 5, I took it off, and I got a nice fill on this second one at 530. Got one fill at 530, 478, 463, and 461 for 300 shares. And I was able to walk away with, this was actually two trades, but one trade was 108.75, and then I had another trade that was $60. Let me pull up VIVK. So we had 108, and then $60 was, or no, was it 45? $45. This was the one through $5. So I added at 469 and then sold at 530. That was a nice fill. It was only on my starter position too. I really could have got more aggressive on it, but we did have this huge flush. So then I did take a major loss on it as well. I think this was also the stock that I had my biggest loss on the month. So my largest loss was also on VIVK in the same day at 1026, 1027, and 1028. So let's go to that. 1024, 5, 6. Yeah, so it was here. I added on this pullback to the 9 EMA, and then it reclaimed, and I was getting more aggressive, looking for another push. I was getting super aggressive. This was when I was in 3,000 positions, $3,000 position size, like twice more than I'm usually in. And I was looking for a break of 4.5. You had a flat top. I thought it was going to be a bull flag flat top breakout, and then a push up to maybe the pre-market highs. And So the pre-market highs up here at 551. Here I was down here trading this. And then the rug got pulled, immediately flushed. I cut it as soon as I could. I just hit sell the market, just get me the heck out of here. And I took actually a $116 loss. This was the day that I was up $150 twice. I was up 150, gave back down to $60, and then I made it back, got back up to $150, and then I gave that back another $100, back down to $50 on the day. This was the day that I was swinging for the fences. I had the biggest green trade and the biggest red trade of the month. That day was very stressful. It was very hard for me to accept that I had a big loss like that. But I thought it was worth it. At the end of the day, I thought this was a really good setup. And if it worked out, I would have had double my biggest ever green day. And that's the kind of trading that you need to be doing to push your share size. Is in these setups that you're confident with, you have to trust that all the experience that you've had is going to work out in a green trade. And you have to put the risk on when the setup is there, or else you will never grow as a trader. And this setup I did, unfortunately it didn't work out, but I cut it as soon as possible. 424, like very, very right here, not even all the way down to the bottom. So awesome risk management. I could have lost a lot more, and I could have gained, an even bigger green day. So I'm actually, in a way, very proud that I actually put that amount of risk on the table, because it shows that I'm willing to push my comfort zone, and that's what's needed to be a successful trader. So I'm going to leave it there. Next month is a new month. I'm looking to size up again, maybe about another 25% of my share size. We'll see how that goes. I'm excited for the next month. I hope we still get some opportunity. I hope we don't get a dry spell next month. I know summer is right around the corner. It's usually sell May and go away. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to have a bias of trying to swing for home runs in May. I'm just going to be patient. And, if a lot of the trades are not setting up, I'm perfectly fine with not taking any trades. I'm perfectly fine with downsizing back down to sizing down 50% if I need to, because the market is not there. I'm perfectly okay with that. My mindset is a marathon mentality. I'm going to be in, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I'm only 25. So I don't need to be swinging for the fences every month. I need to manage my risk and stay in it for the long haul, because after 5 years of experience, imagine where I'm going to be, or where anyone would be in anything with 5 years of consistent daily experience in whatever domain that they're doing. They're going to be borderline an expert in something like that, in whatever industry that they're in, or whatever career that they're pursuing. But imagine just in 5 years, this kind of size that I would be trading, and how comfortable I will be with my strategy. So I just need to, stay in with the long run and not get too short-sighted with trying to maximize gains on every month, because it really is, I have to have a long-term mindset. So that's it. I'm going to call it here. I got to get going. But thanks for tuning in, I guess, for the monthly recap. It's quite long, but I think there's a lot of value I put into this video. If you thought you got value, please also like, comment, and subscribe. And then I'll catch you guys next week and next month on the next day trading recap. Peace.